So I'm going to call to order the Committee of Whole Council meeting for February 5th, 2024. I'm going to start with the acknowledgement of treaties of peace and friendship. We'd like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is traditional, unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq peoples. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship, which Wolastoqiyik, Mi'kmaq, and Passamaquoddy peoples first signed with the British Crown in 1726. The treaties did not deal with surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized Mi'kmaq and Wolastoqiyik title and established the rules for what was to be an ongoing relationship between nations. Thank you. Walalan. Next is the oath of office. We do hereby accept the oath or the office of council and will diligently, faithfully, and impartially discharge to the best of our ability the duties of the office as may be imposed upon us by law. Next is the adoption of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
If I may, Your Worship, I would like to remove the item that I have under my heading, if I may.
Okay, so Councillor Burke is removing 6.1.1. Yeah, sure.
Unfortunately, Councillor Carrier couldn't make the meeting this evening. She did ask me to send along apologies to council. Unfortunately, she's just simply not ready to come back to council, as I'm sure that council can sympathize. So we'll remove her item as well.
So that leaves Councillor Guitar-McDonnell with the only items on the agenda. So with those changes, can we get an adoption of the agenda motion?
I move that we accept the agenda with the changes.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll second it.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passed. So we have nothing until we get down to council and Councillor Guitar-McDonnell.
The item that I would like to discuss is the Events Committee. The four-year term for the Events Committee ended in December of 2023. And so I'm coming to council for their input on restructuring this committee into a team that's going to be working out of the office. My intent would be to have it go under the Health and Wellness Coordinator's work, and he would become the events coordinator as well, and that there would be a team in place to work with him to help organize the different events through the year. It would consist of actually a few or all of council if they would like to participate in coordinating any events or have input into it, as well as local residents who'd like to, also volunteer their time and to give us any suggestions or ideas for events throughout the year. The way it is working right now, a lot of local groups and organizations run events through the Events Committee, especially through Baldoon Days. We have breakfasts and we have dances and we have seniors dinners, and they would be organized by the groups throughout the village as well, with the support of the events team. So that's would be my suggestion for the new structure moving forward. I know the past 4 years have seen many successful events thanks to the chair, Gina Card, through her hard work and dedication. Unfortunately, other members of the committee have left for many different reasons, and these positions have been very hard to fill. So you cannot run a committee with one person being the chair and responsible for everything. That way we would have this team in place working inside the office, and we could meet and organize things through that. And now that that term is ended, these changes, I think, need to be made. So I'm thinking having it run through the office hopefully will give it a boost and help it maintain the success through the events that are organized throughout the year. I just would like council's input on these changes and see if they can come up with something that might be beneficial as well.
All right, thank you, Counselor.
If I may, Your Worship? First of all, you know, as you mentioned, I do believe that the committee deserves a lot of credit for the time and effort they put into it in the past, and we thank you for their time and effort in that. However, as you mentioned, you know, the time has come for, you know, that we look at, you know, that we can do this in-house with a full-time employee, basically dedicated, actually two. I would think that the administrator, the assistant administrator would be involved in that also, doing up paperwork or things of that nature. So there's no question that the efficiency and the smoothness of these things will be, you know, a lot easier to track. I'm also aware that, you know, Councillor Guitar McDonnell and Deputy Mayor Carmichael have been highly involved in a lot of the activities that go on during Baldoon Days and Canada Day and senior suppers and things of that nature. So hopefully that will continue and, you know, to be involved, because I believe that is a critical part of the success of the committee, that type of thing. I will also extend that, as you're aware, I've been to a few of the meetings, that type of thing, and you know, they deserve a lot of credit for what they do. You know, but a lot of these meetings, I'm going to assume now, will take place in-house. So I will ask that, you know, if all of council be notified when those meetings are, so that if and when we can make those, we can attend. You know, the other side of the coin to that is I hope that, you know, Councillor Guitar McDonnell and Deputy Mayor Carmichael continue to be an active part of that. And I will also extend that if there is anything that I can do to help or organize, as you know, I am involved in a lot of the Legion activities and get involved in some of the ladies' auxiliary activities in a behind-the-scenes format. But with that said, you know, at the end of the day, all these committees are made up of volunteers who donate their time and effort, and I'm prepared to offer my time if I can be of any assistance. Do not hesitate, but I do believe the time has come for us to move forward. So thank you very much for that information.
Anyone else?
Yes, I agree. There was a lot of time and effort and a lot of hard work putting in all the events that the committee put in the past, and I can't say thank you enough for the hard work that was put into all these activities. But I think change sometimes and is good. So like I said, I'll continue doing what I can when I can, and hopefully that, you know, the door is open for anybody that's interested to help in any way, and we're always looking for volunteers for, so reach out to us if you want to volunteer for any of the events that's going forward, and I'm sure we can find something for each and everyone to do that wants to help. So thank you for this.
Anyone else? Just a few words. I want to personally thank the events committee for all the tremendous work they've done. And I know many times the invitations, it's one committee that I haven't attended enough meetings of, and hopefully in the future I'll do better in that regard. But it's the community really acknowledges all of the events. Like, it's a big, I think if we didn't have it, it's kind of one of those things where while it's there, you don't maybe recognize how important it is until it's not there. So it's good too that I think we keep trying to make it better, right? So and again, I'll also, you know, second all the work that Gina's done and everybody in the events committee has done. So that's my take on that, and I thank you for bringing it up. Did you have any other final words on that, Councillor Guitarmington?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure because the term is over, whether it has to be dissolved. I'm not sure how that works. But if we are going to implement the Health and Wellness Coordinator as the new events coordinator with a team, does that have to be worded in something separate?
So, yeah, so I'll do a little bit of legwork on that. So there is a bylaw in place for the events committee, and there is kind of a mandate for them. So whether it gets dissolved or how council wants to do that, I'll get some information together. I know that we'd suggested before getting together with staff and having a meeting. I wouldn't mind doing that just so we have a real good idea of what it is that everyone's going to be responsible for. There's kind of questions, a lot of, as council has talked about here, there is a lot of volunteer work. If we are going to bring this in-house, which I don't think is unreasonable, I think there's a lot of other communities that do this type of planning and preparation in-house. And it's not to say that down the road council can't, pivot and go back to another committee if council so chooses. I'd just like to really make sure that we have a good idea of the structure and who is responsible for what. So from the clerical point of view, I'll do a little bit of research and I'll just make sure that council is aware of what we need to have in place for that. For bringing it in-house, I would like to kind of build out some documentation around that on what we're, what everyone's responsible for and how we're going to, getting back to the volunteer thing, there is a lot of stuff that happens after hours, right? So if we do have staff who are responsible Monday to Friday, 8 to 4, and then they're also doing stuff outside of that, we just need to make sure that we have a full understanding on how that's reimbursed or how we manage that. So I'll get back to council this week with some more information on the existing bylaws, and then I could probably just as easily reach out to other communities and say, how do you manage this? And we'll get a little bit of framework there, and then I can bring that back to council. And how's that sound? Yeah. Yeah. Is it?
The one thing, it's fortunate in one way, in a sense, the timing is kind of good because we talked about like the cleaning, how our cleaning is going to go forward. And so if we have to rework something there, we'll be able to take into consideration any changes that might take place, right? So that might work in terms of that. So if there are no other comments on that, then we'll, I don't believe CEO Lee, you don't have anything, do you? Okay. So, okay, well, then we'll move to the adjournment motion.
I move that the meeting is adjourned at 7:14.
Can I get a seconder, please?
I'll second it.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passed. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.